Hey everybody, Amalia here with Karmic Kindness with this Cosmic Chat solo today. Madeline and I are mixing things up. We're working out some new things for you, but I did not want to leave you hanging and wanted to share with you the forecast for this Aquarius Full Moon, my bad, which is happening on August 9th at 3:55 a.m., 16 degrees, 59 minutes. So since I'm sharing this on my own today, I'm going to continue with what I've been sharing in the cosmic chats of the past, but expand on it just a little bit. And the first thing I want to share is it's interesting because there are not that many aspects to this moon. Oftentimes I'll be sharing with you, there is, maybe squares or oppositions and different things that are going on in the cosmos. However, this time it's just the sun and the moon that are opposing each other. There are no other aspects of note, which is somewhat unusual. So that got me thinking about different parts of this particular moon cycle and different ways that we can anchor into that energy besides the different aspects to the moon. So Aquarius, the body gates for Aquarius are the calves, ankles, shins, Achilles, forearm muscles, this part, and the thyroid hormone. So it's kind of a mixed bag with this Aquarian energy. And I think Aquarius is a lot like that. It's this mental energy. It's this thought outside the energy. There's this sense of intuition and innovation. And so it's a little bit of everything. It's an air sign, so there will be potentially a lot of mental energy. And that brings me to the fact that we have some retrograde planets, Mercury, which is another mental sign, thoughts, communication, similar to Aries in that way, that it's retrograde. Neptune is retrograde, Saturn is retrograde, and Pluto, and then also Chiron. So what does all of that mean? That means that we have some significant planetary aspects that are encouraging us to rewind, review, refine, recalibrate, reset. And particularly when we're talking about the planet Pluto, which is death and rebirth and transformation. It also has to do with power. When we're talking about Saturn, it's the planet of time and karma and structure and discipline and foundation. And then we have Neptune, which really has a lot to do with dreams and illusions. And I like to think of Neptune somewhere along the way. I wish I could give credit to the person I heard this from. They described Neptune as the planet of mystic truth. And I find that from myself in my experiences with my dreams and intuition, when there is a Neptune support or there's a Neptune influence, that's what I was looking for, influence, that this opens up the dream world quite a lot. And so you may notice that your dreams are amplified. Take note of them if you're able to. Try to remember them. And the ways you can do that are just as you wake up, replay it in your mind, and then immediately start to write it down, jot it into your phone, whatever makes sense, voice record it if you won't disturb someone next to you. It's a great way to really anchor in the messages and see what sort of symbology is there and what might be available for you as far as support and guidance. Most of us know about Mercury retrograde energy, technological issues, travel issues, delays, communication snafus. When it comes to like backing up things on your laptop or computer, you could maybe run into issues. That is an energy that's going to be at play during this moon cycle as well. And then Chiron retrograde, Chiron, the wounded healer. So wherever this falls in your chart for you, we have this Chiron energy that I want to say it's kind of like this polishing for us around whatever our wounding is that is in Aries. So look at your own chart. You can go to karmickindness.com/astrology-resources. And you can see a place there where you can look and see all of your planetary placements for you when you were born. You'll need your date of birth, birth time, birthplace. And if you don't know your birth time, just if you can ballpark it, that's good enough for the moment. Although it does matter for this exercise, I think it'll give you at least a sense of that. And there's also a place there where you can purchase a chart of your own and be able to read through some of the summaries of things if you want to just have a little bit of a baseline of information. There's also a place where you could run synastry between you and someone else. So That's also kind of fun if you're a little bit more of an avid astrology guy or gal. But when you look at your Chiron, you can see what house it's in, and that will give you more information. You could do a quick little search. Chiron in the first house is going to have something, it's going to deal with an unhealed wound that has to do with your sense of self, how you view yourself, the relationship you have with yourself, for instance. Okay, so got that out of the way, all the retrograde stuff. We also I want to share a little bit about the sun's energy. So we have the sun in the sign of Leo. So Leo is about recognition and admiration, wanting to be the center of attention. And so that is in opposition. So the sun is in Leo and the moon is in Aquarius. And Aquarius has this need for independence. There's a feeling of wanting to connect intellectually, like in a mental way. And then this wanting to break free or bust free of societal norms, doing something different than what we're used to. Aquarius is very innovative. So the tension between these two areas you have an opportunity to foster some creativity, because Leo is also quite creative, and then be able to see from different perspectives that Aquarian energy. So it's a really powerful time for you to find common ground with others and maybe innovate something new. Maybe you're taking the lead, or maybe you're collaborating with someone else, working together. It's a really great time for, creative expression, but coming from a really heart-centered place, thinking outside the box with that Aquarian energy. I wanted to share another couple of aspects here around this energy, because I feel like when we have different places of connection, it makes a huge difference. But before I do that, I don't want to skip some of the things that I often share with you. I'm going to share let me pull this up here. I want to share the impact chart for this moon. Okay, so for those of you who know your astrology or have your own chart, you can look this up. If you don't, you can go to karmickindness.com/astrology-resources to get your chart. As you can see here, the moon is in Aquarius at 16 degrees, 59 minutes. So any body that has points or planets between 6 and 26 degrees of Aquarius, Scorpio, Leo, and Taurus, you will be feeling this moon. It might feel like a little bit of tension or discomfort. All of this is pushing you in order to step into something more aligned and potentially something new. And it may not be quite clear yet, but it will become clearer as we continue on this moon cycle. Okay. All right. One other thing I want to share. So let me get this popped up for you. Is I thought this was so interesting to look at the chart for this moon. Okay. I'm going to ask you, do you notice any shapes on here that jump out at you? Because there are two pretty significant shapes that offer us some guidance. All right, so the first one, which is pretty noticeable here, is this kite. This is really powerful. So the kite is formed with a grand trine and a minor trine. So we have a grand trine here of Pluto in the sign of Aquarius. That's an air sign. Then we also have, I'm sorry, I was drawing a blank here for a second, Uranus here in the sign of Gemini. And we have Mars in the sign of Libra. So we have these powerful planets here connected. You can see this triangle right here. And then we also have, this, this connection here with Saturn and Neptune, which forms this kite. And a kite is significant. And the reason why the kite is significant is because the energy of this kite is kind of pointing us in a direction. It's guiding us. So we have, Uranus and Pluto and Mars in air signs. That's a grand trine. Saturn and Neptune in Aries are connected via sextiles. And it's a minor grand trine with Uranus. So that's what completes the kite. So we're focusing here on rapid momentum, especially around innovation, collaboration, and creative disruption. So this is a time for breakthroughs. Aquarius has a lot to do with breakthroughs, but not just breakthroughs in terms of personal, but it could also be collective breakthroughs. So be aware of that showing up in your life and noticing things around you that might be inspiring for you as well. Now, I also want to point out one other thing, which I think is really interesting here. We also have something called a mystic triangle. Do you see this right here? This mystic triangle. It's a little less, I'm sorry, not mystic triangle. It's a mystic rectangle. Sorry. This Mercury retrograde is messing with my brain. This mystic rectangle, it's a little bit less prominent than the kite. As far as the energetics of it, it's not quite as strong, but it is still something to take into consideration. So with the mystic triangle, we've got a little bit of this energy where it's showing us where we might be out of balance, and we're looking to bring things into balance. So there might be a little bit of tension between, let me pull up the chart. I had taken it off my screen. So here between Pluto and Mars, and between Saturn and Neptune, and Mercury. So communication, the foundational structures, the dreams and illusions, and then we have the Pluto energy of power and rebirth, and then we've got that in opposition to Mars. So there's already, and Mars is a very powerful planet too. So you might notice this push and pull between the power outside of you, or something you're moving towards, and the power within you. There might be a little bit of tension there, where there will be a little bit of a recalibration that is required. So I just wanted to share that with you, because it seemed really interesting to me that we have these pretty significant geometries within the astrology for this moon cycle. Moving on to the flower for this Aquarius full moon. All right, so let me grab my notes here and share with you the Society garlic. So take that in. Is there anything that jumps out at you with this? Just take note. The one thing that jumps out at me is that we have these flowers that are all kind of like jumping out at us. It's this, how do I want to say it? It's like this energy of see me, but it's also, there's a lot of the flowers. So it's a little bit of that Aquarian energy of gathering and community, things like that. This flower, the Society garlic, activates imperviousness, which means, it's almost like this protective kind of energy. You're impervious, you're protected from, outside forces or things throwing you off. It allows you to remain unwavering in whatever you may think, whatever you may feel. You're not afraid to take a stand with this flower. And I love this because this is very much Aquarian type energy. This also will cleanse destructive patterns. So if there's a pattern in your life that is not aligned with where you would like to go or where you are right now, it will be highlighted at this time. And this also allows yourself to be seen publicly as solid, unwavering, and protected. Whenever I think about being seen publicly, I think of Leo. So we have a lot of that Leo and Aquarian energy in this flower. So this also is really great if you've been feeling a little overly sensitive or worried about something. It's very protective in that way. And this flower is in the elixir Awakened Perception. So if that is something you'd like to work with, that is the blend that it's in. I believe, don't hold me to it, but I believe this is also available on the LOTUSWEI website as a single flower elixir as well. So whatever you're called to do. And I will drop a link below for you. LOTUSWEI is, my go-to company for these flower essences and elixirs. Really beautiful, really well done, and really powerful and supportive. So if you want to purchase something, use the code Amalia to get 10% off. And if you don't have to, because if you just take a screenshot of this flower, visualize it, imagine it, play with it. Oftentimes I like to imagine it as a crown. That might be really nice, or a hat for this Aquarian energy, a lot of mental energy. You can imagine it as a cape. You can imagine it as a belt, as a shawl, whatever you want. You can imagine them raining down on you. You can imagine them swirling around you. You can imagine dancing around with them. Whatever feels good to you is perfect. Okay. The final little thing, well, I was going to talk about the Sabian symbol first, and then I'll go to the gene key. So Sabian symbols were channeled by a woman named Elsie Wheeler back in the 90s, I believe. And recently, a gentleman, I think, let me double check my notes because I want to make sure I get his name correct. Let's see, hold on. I want to give credit to the people where this information came from, because I feel like that's really important to give credit where credit is due. Okay, Dr. Mark Edmund Jones has kind of a modern interpretation of it in the Sabian Symbols and Astrology book. And so with this Aquarius full moon, basically it's at 16 degrees, 59 minutes. You round up always. So we're looking at the Sabian symbol for 17 degrees. And so it's a symbology of just an area that we can think about in terms of just another way for our mind to wrap itself around the energy of this full moon cycle. And because this flower, the society garlic, has a lot to do with protection, I find it interesting that we have the Sabian symbol of a watchdog standing guard, protecting his master and his possessions. The Sabian symbol is a watchdog. So we have a lot of protective energy around us right now. The symbol represents a link of service, very faithful, unwavering, similar to the flower with the watchdog. And there's a sense of loyalty and dedication to a cause or an individual. So with this Aquarian energy, there might be a cause or something that feels really aligned with who you are or what's important to your heart, and being able to finally move forward on that in a way that is really expansive for you. So that watchdog energy, the society garlic, we're all kind of tracking together. And then I looked at the gene key for where the sun is for this moon cycle. I didn't do the moon. Honestly, I didn't think about it until just now, but we're going to go with this where the sun is for the moment, because I feel like that would also be super helpful. It's a little bit of that Leo energy, that heart energy, the courageousness of the Leo vibes with that lion energy. Okay, so let me pull that up for you all. Hang tight with me here. Let me see if I can find, here it is. All right. And here we have the gene key 7 with the city of division, the city of virtue, the gift of guidance, and the shadow of division. So what does that mean? What are we looking at here? What are we focusing on? So we're going to contemplate, where does division keep you from noticing the guidance that's available for you to be able to connect with the virtues that seem to elude you up until this point? And if you're not sure what a virtue is, think about a virtue as, and this is according to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, as a beneficial quality or power of a thing, a commendable quality or trait, or capacity to act. So whichever one of those seems to connect with you when you think about virtue, that might be a place of contemplation for you during this Aquarius full moon. I'm curious. I'm going to look really quickly. So hang tight with me for one sec. Okay, the magic of technology. So I decided to look up really quickly what key the moon was in, because I feel like it's really important to share both perspectives of the moon and the sun. So this is really interesting. So we have, I'm going to show this to you in just one second. Let me see. I think it's the right one. Nope. Sorry. That was the other one. Let me pull this up again. On my side, the share is so small that I can't tell what it is. So hang on a second. Let me try that one more time. Okay, hopefully this is correct. Yes. Okay, cool. So the moon is in gene key 13. And gene key 13 has the shadow of discord, the gift of discernment, and the city of empathy. And man, I'll tell you, when I think about Aquarius, Aquarius is this it's kind of this like disruptive energy. And so I think of like this disruption and discord as similar, but it's like, what is it moving towards? What is it like shaking up? And then using discernment to see, okay, where are things being shaken up? And what can I do? What can I discern around what's happening in order to lean into and express and maybe connect with this sense of empathy that maybe you weren't able to before? It could also be this disconnection from what's happening outside of us. I'm trying to describe the energy that I'm seeing. It's almost like, think about Leo as this very heart-centered energy. And then we have Aquarius, which is this like broader perspective, this way of like seeing things differently, living life differently. And so we're striking this balance between, we've got the sense of virtue. We're leaning towards, we're moving towards taking some sort of action that is guided by the heart, that comes from maybe an empathetic place, that place where you really can feel what someone else is feeling. You can put yourself into that position and be able to support people in a way that you haven't been able to before, because you can now feel it and sense it in a whole new way, not just with your heart, but with your head as well. So we've got some really very, very interesting, strong energies this upcoming full moon in Aquarius. It's going to be, I feel like, a powerful period of time. Not a lot of aspects to the moon, like I said, but with that mystic triangle, I'm sorry, why do I keep saying that? Mystic rectangle and kite, we have a lot of really powerful energy that we're going to be experiencing as a whole. And remember, if you want to check out your chart, you could go to karmickindness.com/astrology-resources. I'll drop the link below as well for you. And there's plenty of places to contemplate, and there's plenty of places for support that we talked about here today, and also by leaving comments, because we learn from one another. So please do share with someone you think may benefit, and I will see you here again for the Virgo new moon forecast coming up for you in a few weeks. Ciao for now.